Hey, what's going on?
Hey, sir, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing this morning?
Doing all right.
Yeah, you had a busy morning already, or are you just getting going?
Just getting going. I woke up probably about 7.
Okay. Well, I'm old, so I woke up at 3:30 and I already been to the gym, man. That's what old people do.
Hey, yes, sir.
So, man, so tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Like, what do you currently do right now?
So I'm currently in the Air Force. I been in the military for going on 5 years now.
Okay.
Uh, I've been fitness has always been a part of my life. I train now. We're working with Camp Gladiator. I don't know if you ever heard of them, or
Yep.
and then I also work out at a boxing gym, and just getting my 5 days a week in. It's a part of my life as well as nutrition. So I got both of those certifications pretty much last year and the beginning of this year. So I've been trying to take and get rolling because I only have a couple more years in the military, and I want to be able to do this without the hassle of just working a 9 to 5 and just laboring more than I need to do what I want to do. So uh, I'm definitely interested.
I love that, man. And so sounds like we only got a couple more years left in the military. You want to have something that you can transition to where you're doing something where you feel fulfilled, something that you're passionate about, and something where you don't have to have someone else telling you what to do. You kind of run things on your own terms. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. And you said you have multiple certifications. Is that through Camp Gladiator? And then you said you're doing a nutrition one as well, correct?
Yes, sir. They're both through NASA.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Now, in order for this to become like a full-time gig for you, what do we need to be making to replace your current income?
I would like to definitely. I mean, the bargain that you push out with the 10K a month is essentially that would be perfect because right now my current household only makes about 6 or 7 a month. So if I'm
Okay.
making 10K a month, um, that I'm already above what I currently make. So that will give us extra money to do a little more, and that in itself will give us a little breathing room to like take trips here and there and stuff like that. Put much more in the savings account and stuff like that. So if 10K is the goal that we set as a short term goal, and then it's only up from
Yep.
there as I watched on the videos. um, I mean, I'm all ears.
Cool. Now, give you some context behind that. It's really easy to get to 10K. All right, easier than you think. So, industry average for online training is anywhere between 250 a month on the very low end, up to 500 a month on the upper end. Okay, so you got multiple certifications. All right, you got some boxing, you got a lot of different things involved for yourself. So, ideally, not knowing a whole lot about you quite yet, but I'd say I would charge nothing below 350 to 400 starting off. So let's just say you're charging around 400. Okay. If you had 25 clients, that gets you 10K right there. So 25 clients, that's it. And you have the whole world to recruit 25 clients from, right?
Right,
And then with you being in the Air Force, that's just another benefit because you're traveling all over the world. You're getting to meet different people and you're getting to really market yourself, right? So like part of marketing yourself is how you look, right? Your body is your business card essentially,
right,
right? So if you've lived a very healthy life. Then on top of that, you've got people through Camp Gladiator that has a trust, a relationship. They've built a rapport with you. They're already going to be like, I got to rock with him because so far he's never led me wrong, right?
right.
So 25 clients is very doable. Right now, give you some another kind of a statistic. The people that are getting 10K, the other ones that get 10K a month on average, it takes them like just around 13 weeks to do so on average. I think 12 to 13 weeks. So think about that. 12 to 13 weeks. That's dude, that's less than like about 90 days,
Right.
right? So you could really have a nice nest egg built up. So by the time you are ready to retire from the military, You've already got a ton of clients. We got that financial freedom. We're able to travel, and we can just do things whenever we want without having to really have to check the bank account at all times. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cool. So now that you know the industry averages, and we know that 10K a month would give you that extra breathing space, where would you ideally like to see yourself best case scenario?
But best case scenario, 10K a month is 1,200, 120 a year. So I really, because I've never been a big money person, so
Yeah.
I don't know how to gauge what is I'm not big on like lavishness or anything. So I mean, I say 20. I mean, if we could go high, I have no problem with going high. If that's because I want to, do what I'm
So
worth and be what I'm worth. So
100%. So really it's going to be based upon like your overall lifestyle goals that you want. So some people, they want to build this massive empire, which is awesome. If you're a workaholic and you don't have a ton of kids or anything like that, that might be the route for you, where you're building a huge team, right? We can scale it to the moon, right? That just means there's like a lot of extra work, a lot of hustle. Some people, they want to make maybe 15 to 20K, where they're not as stressed. They might be a 1 to 2 man show, and then it gives them an opportunity to travel more. They're not stuck doing work. It's going to be really based upon the type of lifestyle that you want to create for you and your family. Does that make
yes,
sense?
yes, sir. Then I think that's the one I'm on, that the latter, the
Yep.
15 to 20.
A lot of individuals will see, like when you're seeing these different videos, because there's people crushing it, right? And they're making 50,000 a month, which is crazy to think about. 100,000 a month, right? So we implement how to do that. So like once we get you to 10K, we then kind of go into the next phase, which would be like the mastery level, where we kind of teach you how to run ads, get a DM, or bring on certain people to kind of remove you from the monotonous day-to-day activities, so we can focus more on like building, right?
Right.
But for some individuals like yourself and myself, I've been a trainer for over 15 to 20 years, and the money sounds amazing. But for me, I wanted flexibility and just to get out and travel. Like that was all I wanted. And I have kids, so I wanted to be more of a present father than like missing out on like their younger years.
Right.
Cool.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. What do you feel like would be the biggest challenge to get you to where you want to get to? Like I think you mentioned right now, just kind of like getting started, but what else do you feel would be a bigger challenge?
So I know a lot of these. I know just watching the main video. What was his name? Mike? Is his name Mike?
Oh, Chad.
Chad. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're good.
he he says 3 times your investment.
Mhm.
He kept saying that 3 times your investment. Of course, me being in the military, my wages are not high. I don't have
Yep.
like a lot of money just lying around to where I can just straight invest in myself like that easy.
Mhm.
But essentially, that's why I think that the biggest problem is getting myself up, because I've had multiple different ideas, and I've just wanted to be an entrepreneur, but it's just the cost to get rolling has really like slowed me down and caused that procrastination, because now I'm like, well, let me try to find a different route, or hey, let me go look over here, and then it's a cycle of this sounds good, and I know that these ads, they get passed like a lot, but just because a lot of people, for one, like you said, they lack motivation, but two, I think is a big one, is because a lot of people that are young and new and don't really have a lot of money, they're afraid at that startup cost. And
Mhm.
so I think me, it's really just getting started. Because once I'm rolling, I'm game, because I'm a sponge. I'll learn as much as I can from as many people as I can. That's why the people that were in the chat, I had one guy respond to me, and he said, no, it's very realistic. And I was like, okay, how did you start, and how was it when you started, and how is it now? And like it was kind of vague. He was like, it's kind of the same. I guess he said he was like just barely starting or something like that. And then I was like, do you have an Instagram? Because I'm a visual learner. Like you
Yeah.
said, body. If I'm watching a video of a guy telling me that I can make this amount of money being a fitness coach, and I'm looking at his body and I'm like, but you don't look fit,
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, that's kind of throwing me off. And so let me look at this guy that is a client. Let me look at his Instagram page. I go to his Instagram page and it doesn't even have a profile picture on it. And it's just
Yeah.
like his username. And so it's just like little things like that where I get in my head of that anxiety and like, is this real? Can I actually do this route? Is this a valuable investment? So it's just starting is my biggest problem.
Yeah, you have very valid concerns and fears. Like literally, those are the same fears we hear a lot of individuals come. So the group chat that you were a part of, a lot of those people in there are trying to figure out information just like you. So some of them haven't even started. They're trying to debate if they want to get started, right? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of context. I used to think the same thing, like, oh, if they don't look fit, how could they be successful? This probably mind fucked me for like the first 3 months when I went through it, right? Like there was people that had zero experience, and I'm talking about they looked like they never touched a weight or even ran before, right? And they're killing it. And I'm like, how is this possible, right? So the thing about it is we teach you, it's not about always who the fittest is, it's about how you can resonate with people's pain points. Okay. So to give you an example, right? When I was younger, I only wanted to work with athletes because their mindset's different. They're all discipline structure. However, unless you're a professional athlete, you don't got a whole lot of money, right?
Yeah,
So
very,
that led me to a lot of problems where I'm having to like turn down a lot of clients that can't afford me. So I started changing my niche. So now I address men 35 to 50 that are high level executives or entrepreneurs. So at 35 to 50, you're pretty much already set with like finances. You have a good job if you're a high level executive. But then think about the pain points men 35 to 50 have that are in those type of levels. Their nutrition is usually off because they're entertaining guests or whatever the case may be. They're never home with their family. So there's a lack of balance between work life and family life. And if they're not home with their family, their wife or partner starts to resent them. And if they're not home to be supportive, they're usually not a good father, right? So if you're not a good father, you're rarely home, your wife resents you, guess what happens? There's no intimacy with your wife when you are home, which is a huge problem for men because we are built off of power, sex, and money. That's what we crave. It's a natural instinct, right? So you remove one or all three of those things, now we've got problems. So I'm speaking to a specific category of men. So yes, you're a beast in the boardroom, but you don't have a life outside of it. And that's a scary place to be in because your kids won't remember the money you made. They want to know that you were there present. Same thing with your wife, right? So doing that, yes, I have high level ticket guys coming in, but I also have general population people coming in as well that are athletes, that are even women. So you have an ideal niche of who you want to roll with, but then you're going to also have people trickling in because they've been watching you. They feel like they can resonate with you. And the reason they feel like they can resonate with you is because you're not just posting fitness stuff all day long. Okay. So yes, you want to post educational stuff to let people know that you're an expert in your field, but people also want to be entertained. We're in the world where it's constant entertainment. We want a quick fix to everything, right? We want to be laughing. We want to be engaged. So then you want to post stuff like about your family life outside of them. So people be like, oh man, I want to hang out with this guy if I could, right? Like you're starting to build a trust. People want to purchase you because they feel like they can relate to you. And that's how some of these people who don't look fit or jacked are getting clients because they're really good at nurturing relationships. So coaching and giving someone an excellent program nutrition is just a very minute piece of the puzzle. It's going to be all about communication, relationship skills, and meeting their needs and expectations, which will show you all that step by step. And as we go through this process, I think a lot of your questions are going to be like, oh man, light bulb moment. I see what he's talking about. Does that make sense so far?
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Cool. I love it. So Outside of that, I think there's one more thing that you had mentioned that I want to kind of touch on. So how do I know that this isn't a scam, right? We'll talk about this too. We're through the Better Business Bureau. So if you're familiar with that, it's like a report card for legitimate businesses. So from an A+ to an F, we got an A out of a possible A+. So that kind of solidifies who we are in the space. You mentioned also that you have a NASM certification, right? So NASM is one of the most reputable certifications in the world, correct?
Right.
So we're actually backed by NASM, ACE, and ISSA. So three of the biggest certification companies in the world recognize us as continuing education credits as well.
Oh, okay.
So when you're trying to figure out like, okay, I'm seeing some stuff that's not really adding up. How do I know this is legit? How can I know that this is real? We have all those things that kind of support that. And then you had mentioned the 3 times your investment guarantee. That is going to be a game changer because a lot of coaching companies, they don't have that type of guarantee. They have a money back guarantee, but we give you a specific amount of money you'll make or you get your money back. So how the 3 times investment guarantee works is that you have to attend your game planning call. You got to attend all of your one-on-one coaching calls per month, which is about 2 per month, 1 group support call each week. You got to run 1 scholarship program within the first 90 days, which is only going to help you get a ton of clients anyways. And then you can't have any late payments. Okay. You do the bare basics. You show up and do the work. We're guaranteeing you'll 3 times whatever you invest in. Okay. Or you get your money back. So year to date, we've helped over 3,000 students. We've only had to return 1.6%. That's a pretty good batting average. Does that kind of give you a little bit more confidence?
Yes, sir. One of the big questions I had was how many people really have you actually helped? Because when you think about those scamming things, it's like a lot of them, they say, hey, like I saw in the video where he said most companies, they'll tell you about their top 10%, but we're going to show you out of everybody, this is on average what they're pulling in, the 6,900 or the 6,700, whichever one it was. And like that type of information is what makes me say, okay, I'm starting to understand a little bit more, starting to really, feel comfortable with it. And then just like you just said, when you give me numbers, obviously I can't fact check you on your numbers, but if you give me like realistic numbers, like you say, you've helped over 3,000 people, that's realistic to me because like I said, even myself, I understand that a lot of people are going to skip over it. When I watch the videos and it directs me to YouTube, I'm looking at how many views it has. Okay, it has 34 likes. It has 1,000 views on this one startup video. Well, it's a startup video. It's not geared for everybody that watches YouTube. It's looking for those people that want to start here. And so when you say numbers, it really helps me.
Yeah, and first of all, I want to thank you for actually doing your due diligence and watching the videos because your questions right now are great questions. I get some people on here that didn't do a lick of information, and this information is only to help you make a better, more informed decision, right?
Right.
So you had mentioned the averages. You're right. We are huge about showing what the basic person does, okay? So we'll go through this at the very end, but to give you some context behind it, right now, 73% of our students sign their first client in month 1, okay? On average, it takes them just 1 week to do so. So our overall goal is to get everyone getting their first client within the first 2 to 2.5 weeks. That's our main focal point, okay? Now, the individuals that get their first client in month 1, by the end of month 4, are averaging over 8K a month. Now, the individuals that don't get their client in month 1, but by the end of month 4, are averaging just over 6,500. So to be a basic, mediocre, do the bare suggested work, you could expect to make anywhere between 6,500 to 8K, okay? Which is still really good money, right? Right there alone, we're hitting where you really want to. Well, right now we hit 6,500 to 7K. We're replacing your current income, right? If we're hitting 8K, we're moving up, right? And this is just for the basic individual. So you have to ask yourself, are you a basic person? I'd hope not, right? You're military. So military is built off of structure, discipline, and accountability, right? So you being in the service for so long, you have a leg up on the competition because there's a lot of people that just want instant gratification. So if you go through different things, you can go to the Better Business Bureau website. we have maybe 3 complaints out of 3,000 students. I'll take that all day long. Now, each of those complaints also has a response to them as well. We don't take those responses down because we haven't lost a single investigation yet as far as when a complaint occurs. So usually the ones that complain, they're the ones that didn't do what was expected of them, right? No different in the military. If your sergeant or your superior gives you an order, you got to execute it or there's consequences, right?
Right.
Basic principles here, right? We're not trying to like recreate the wheel or anything. We're trying to set you up for success. Now, the cool thing about this is this used to be a 6-month program. Okay. So we tied it down to just a 4-month program because we started seeing that people were like getting a little bit burnt out at 6 months. So our focal point is to get you from 0 to 10K. Once we focus on that, then we can start doing the fine tuning things and start moving you in past that 10K route. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Any other questions before we move on? Are we feeling a little bit more comfortable about the averages and how things are looking?
Yes, sir. Definitely. I'm just listening here.
Yeah, man, 100%. I love it. Now, the next question I have for you is, I know that we're still in the military, which will be perfect because this allows you to do stuff on your free time. It allows you to build up that business. And again, so by the end of 2 years, you got to think about how far you could be. If the goal is to get you to 10K in 4 to 6 months, where can we be at in 2 years, right? Like easy, right? So outside of that, how do you want your life to look in the next 4 to 6 months that's different from where it's at currently?
Definitely touching that, matching my current income. If that's number one. Would love to see that happen. If I'm making 65 to 8K a month, on top of the household already making 6,000 a month, we're doing pretty well for ourselves while still being in the military, all the benefits that we have and everything like that. So that would definitely be a stamp a stamp on a 4-month plan and 6-month plan. Also, just like I said, learning. I just want to learn as much as I can because I haven't been doing it that long, but I have the passion to do it. Like I'm in the military, but I work at 2 other fitness facilities, and that takes another 2 hours out of my day. So I'm working an 8-hour shift, which is probably like close to 9 to 10 hours of my day working for the military, and then two more hours twice a week at these different facilities, and they're only getting me. One of them is paying $50 a week, and then the other one is paying like $15 every time I'm there. So for an hour, it's $15. So I'm not making a lot here, but definitely, like you said, using the people that I see daily to try to maybe get some clients or potential clients. But I know a lot of people that I see, they're the ones that are on the lower budget scale here in Wichita Falls, Texas. So yeah, I just want to learn. I want to learn.
Yeah, I love that, man. So the cool thing about this is it sounds like our goal also is to reduce having to work so many jobs so you can just spend more time with your family, make more money, and just more time for yourselves to do the things that you're truly passionate about, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
that's the ultimate flex, right? Work harder or work smarter, not harder. Right now we're working a shit ton, right? So
Right.
we want to start reducing that, man. Let me ask you this. On a day-to-day basis, okay, so on average, where do you think your stress levels are at from like a 1 to a 10? 1, not much, and 10 is like, oh my God, get me out of here. Where's your stress levels at on a regular basis?
I would say it's pretty low. I don't try to stretch that much. I used to, but not anymore. So I'll say about
Cool.
like a 3, 2.
Cool. So just think about if it's already low, think about obviously money. Money doesn't always bring happiness, but it makes things a lot more easy to deal with, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
it
sir.
gives the opportunity to invest, to save, and to travel, right? Those are the main things. Cool. Now, outside of the challenges, it looks like you've been doing your due diligence. You got some certifications. What else have you tried in regards to getting this thing going, or is this the first steps?
So I was watching some YouTube videos, like the ad said, watching some YouTube videos from different fitness enthusiasts and people that say that they have this program that is a foolproof, and all these different things. I'll actually reach out to the people that are doing it, like CG. CG offers online training for nutrition and for fitness coaching. And I'm currently speaking with the nutrition launcher there because I was essentially going to get my online nutrition business going through CG, and we're just trying to figure out how to scale to get me 10K a month but they were saying that for them, for CG, the money is in actually face-to-face coaching when you're doing those big groups, because that's what CG, the higher prices are there. It's like, I think it's like $129 a month or something like that for those outdoor workouts where you're face-to-face. What the sorry.
No, you're good.
She's traveling now. She knows how to move. So she's well, okay. But yeah, so essentially their scaling process makes me work more. So it's like, hey, you wanna make more money, so you gotta work harder.
So you just hit the nail on the head right there, right? Any company that you work with, it's not your own. Hey, you want more money? Cool. You have to invest more time. So you're actually building someone else's dreams. You're only getting a small portion of what they're actually making or from what they're charging, right?
Right.
Versus where you could be not having to invest nearly as much time. So to give you some context, we've got people that are making 15K a month. They're working about 35 hours a week.
Wow.
And they're like a one man or one woman show, right? They might have a DM or they might be running ads, and that's pretty much about it, right? Maybe one assistant coach, like we'll go over all that stuff, but think about that. If you could be making 15,000 a month, working 35, even 40 hours a week, that's less than what you're doing now, right? And you're doing it from the comfort of your home, so you're more time with baby girl, more time with your family, right?
Yes,
and you're
sir.
feeling a lot more fulfilled versus exhausted, right? Because as she gets older, and I'm speaking to you, I got 5 kids. So you don't want to miss out on these years, because
Right.
most men will say, I'm doing it to build a future for them. Those kids don't care about that, man. They care about you being present in their life. So
Right.
when I was an in-person trainer, I've been a mastery level trainer for over 15 years. So I had over 40 clients I was training weekly, 2 to 3 times a week. I was charging $150 a session, which means I was getting paid great. Was gone from 4:30 in the morning to about 8:30 at night. So was the money great? Absolutely. But was my balance with my family there? Not even close. And that's what made me move to that hybrid style where I started doing some online training. That's how I got connected with NLCA. I could slowly reduce out my clientele. And now I just came back literally 2 days ago from Spain. Traveled to Spain with my wife. 7 months prior to that, I was in Costa Rica. And I was pulling clients when I was in Costa Rica, not even trying. So that's really, for me, that's the ultimate flex right there, right? I'm on vacation, chilling, working out in the gym, and people are running up to me and asking me questions. Hey, you should be a coach or a trainer. Huh? Funny, I am. Here's my business card. Boom. And I'm slinging deals on vacation, man. It's
Right.
that simple, right? You could be drinking margaritas on the beach and having people signing up for your program. It's that simple, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. What else do you feel like you would need from a coach to feel supported? Like, are we looking for more like accountability, guidance? What are we looking for from a mentor?
Literally, that's the word right there, is mentorship. That same question was asked to me. Essentially, I want someone who is very personable, who
Okay.
can break it down to me in a way that's not going to try to leave certain things in the dark, but just like says, hey, if you want to do this, this is exactly what you're going to have to do. Now, with that being said, hey, you're going to have to put this in. It's going to probably cost about this much, things like that. Like, I'm a straightforward type of guy. Give me what it is so we can go, and I can tell you yes or no. So that's it. Is being being what a mentor should be and leading by example. Like, for example, the easiest way to put it is if a person is making 15, 20K a month, put me on what you're doing to make 20K a month. Like, I want to know what you're doing so that I can see, okay, my life is slightly different. So this is how I would change it. But I know exactly what you're doing. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, so this is the cool thing about it. If you move forward, you'd be partnered with a one-on-one coach your entire duration of your enrollment. So this is an individual who has completed both the 10K accelerator and the mastery level. So to be a coach with us, for a coach to come on and be able to coach other students, they have to go through both courses. So there's like a minimum that they have to meet. So they have a 6 or 7 figure business off the information on our course. So they're battle tested. They've been through it, right? So you'll have every 2 weeks Zoom calls with them. You'll have 24/5 tech support. You can ask them as many questions. You'll have a private Facebook group. You can reach out to other coaches. So when I'm looking at, I know you had mentioned that you talked to like other coaching companies, which is awesome. But what will separate us from everybody else is Better Business Bureau, backed by 3 of the largest certification, and our one-on-one support is second to none. We even have you set up with a sales coach at a specific time. So that way you're capitalizing on your return of investment. We're closing down deals better. We're making it more of an intimate moment. So again, everything is laid out almost tutorial style. I want you to think of this course, which you'll see is like a cheat code. Think about back when you were in school. If a teacher said it's open book and you're like, nah, I don't need it. That's stupid. Ours is like open book with the answers highlighted, circled in red for you. You can't fail if you just do the work, right? It's that simple, okay? So I'm excited. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to go over like a brief overview of the game plan. Then we're going to actually deep dive into the actual module. So again, we're very transparent. I'll actually click on every single module so you can see exactly what you'd be getting. Cool?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me know when you can see my screen and we'll have a little fun.
All right, I got it.
Cool. So as you know, we're the Next Level Coaching Academy. As mentioned earlier, this is the game changer here. We're accredited through the Better Business Bureau. We got a quality rating of an 8 out of a possible A+, and backed by 3 of the largest certification companies in the world. Okay. Now on the success ladder, we've got 2 tiers. We've got 10K accelerator. We got mastery level. 10K accelerator is great for an individual such as yourself. Someone's got some certifications. They're looking to transition from the 9 to 5 and they want to create an online fitness business. The information this course can get us from 0 up to 10K a month in as little as 4 months if so desired. Now, mastery levels for individuals that have been hitting 10K a month on a regular basis, but their focal point is to scale up to 100K a month. So they want to become more of a CEO of their own program, kind of walk away from the day-to-day routines. Okay, so regardless, when we hit 10K a month on a regular basis, we'll send you up into mastery because we know you want to get to 15 to 20. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, 10K is really going to be broken down into 4 phases. We can't consider ourselves an actual business until we actually have paying clients. So our first focal point is to get your first couple clients right out the gate. Once we have a couple clients, then we're going to establish a solid business foundation. From there, we're going to teach you how to generate leads organically through AI software, game changer. And we're also going to develop sales and retention strategies to help you reach, sustain, and surpass 10K a month. Okay. Now, on the support side of things, you'll have that assigned one-on-one coach I discussed. You'll have a private game planning call with them initially to figure out where you want to be and the most efficient way to get there. Every 2 weeks, you'll have one-on-one coaching calls. So this gives you a chance to revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback, and give you very specific instructions on what you need to execute for the next 2 weeks. And then, as mentioned earlier, you'll also be introduced to your sales coach. 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate a 9 to 5. So this goes over client objection handling, client delivery, marketing, lead generation, mindset issues, you name it. We deep dive into it. You also have 24/5 tech support, so you can text your coach as much as you like. They're contractually obligated to answer all of your questions. And then to become an entrepreneur, it is awesome, but it's overwhelming at times, right? So we've created what we call the Zenpreneur method. We help with weekly mindset calls. We do breath work, meditation sessions, even journaling to ensure you're continuously in a good space to move forward with your business. Okay. As far as the resources go, you'll have the course curriculum, you'll have the Zenpreneur method. We'll even give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific hires or changes within your program. We do offer an optional certification. This is something you probably wouldn't need since you have multiple through NASDAQ. Cool. Now, the secret sauce to get you from 0 to 10K, 4 phases. First one, act first. What does that mean? We're going to launch our business. We're going to let people know who we are, what we're about, and then we're going to utilize very specific strategies to get us our first couple clients. From there, we'll move into organization design, which means we're going to set you up to be a legitimate legal business. We're also going to figure out what problems you solve for individuals. Based upon that, we'll create our offer and pricing around that. So these first two phases usually take about a month to month and a half total. The rest of the time, you'll be in phase 3 and phase 4. So phase 3, developing consistency. We're going to teach you our organic marketing strategy utilizing AI software. We'll also teach you to generate leads with NLCA's community lead generation method. Then we'll also create basic sales funnels to close down deals more efficiently. Phase 4 is like the fine tuning of everything. We're going to maximize your sales capabilities so you can close down your calls at 40% or greater. We'll also have a consistent client delivery systems, but we're going to have an emphasis on customer support and client retention. We want to keep people happy for long periods of time and advance them to higher levels of our programming. Okay. Any questions on that so far?
Can you scroll back up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's the one right below it. Okay, I just want to, I'm screenshotting here so I can just read this stuff later because I'm trying to listen to you and everything. So
100%. No problem. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. Any questions on that so far?
No, sir. So I see here where you say launch your business and make it official. Going back to the text message, I believe when Chad had responded, he said something about the LLC. And so essentially we have to.
We're actually.
What happened?
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to dive into that here in a second. So those are great questions.
Okay.
Yeah, you are good, my man. This is just like a high level of what we have to offer. We're actually going to dive into the actual modules now.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, cool. See, you're already getting excited. I love it. All right, let's see this loads.
So I have an LLC, but it's not like an umbrella.
Okay, no problem.
I didn't know what I was doing that first time.
No problem. We'll take care of that. So we're going to have a total of 30 modules. Each module will have an overview link that you can read, very tutorial style, show you step by step. It'll also be associated with videos. So the videos are tutorial style as well. Okay, so if you're a more visual learner, how I did it is I would read first, then watch the videos. That's kind of how I did it. Okay, so the first step to becoming a full-time online fitness coach, as mentioned, we're going to utilize very specific strategies to get your first couple of clients out the gate. The cool thing is we already provide resources that are already done for you. So that way you're more efficient with your time. Okay. From there, the accelerator directory, I want you to view this as onboarding material that'll help you become a better student. It really shows you how to maximize the program to its fullest capacity. Okay.
I'm a huge advocate for knocking stuff out as soon as possible. How long are those modules? Individually.
They're going to vary anywhere between 2 minutes. They're pretty condensed. They're short, they're to the point. So to kind of give you some context on the time that you'd want to spend a week on it, if we're talking about going through the modules, attending all your game planning calls, all that in totality, if you can dictate 10 to 20 hours per week, you're in a solid spot. If you can dictate anything over 20 hours a week, you're in a dangerously great spot.
Okay, and so with me working 8 hours, so if I do 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, that's 40 hours a week. Out of what is that? 24, that's 20 plus 100, 120 hours out of 5 days. Because Saturdays and Sundays, Sundays I can do things, but Saturdays is like I don't do anything on Saturday.
Yeah.
And so if out of 100, and I would say now that's 144 hours, 40 of that is the work, of course. I do about 6 to 7 hours of sleep. So, but if I need to knock back a little bit more sleep to just kind of get the ball rolling. I don't see a problem with that. And then while I'm at this current job, I'll be in training here in June for the military. So, that's going to be, hey, wake up at the ass crack of dawn and then get up, we got to do such and such. And then you tired and I'm going to be in Mississippi. So that heat's going to be crazy. But, I'm going to be I'm going to try to be on go mode. Plus I have other training that I do. So it's a real busy life that I got going here. But definitely, if I could try to manage that, you say 20 hours a week,
10 to
that's
20.
10 to 20. If we
Mhm.
split that up into 5, that's about 4 hours a day. And that's for the calls are how long typically?
So the whole course itself is going to be 4 months long. Okay. So to get resourceful with your time, think about this. How I did it when I was busy with the wife, the kids, and training. I would literally pop in a module on the way to the gym. I'd pop in a module during my lunch. I'd pop in a module while I was on the treadmill getting warmed up before my lifting. So I was, by the time I got home, I only needed about an hour of execution because I've already listened to everything. Right. From that point on, I would just execute what it told me to do.
Right.
Right. So just getting a little bit, yeah. Is there going to be a short-term inconvenience? You might have to wake up a little earlier. I'm very similar to you. There's one day out the week that I don't do anything. Right. So for me, it's usually Sundays. But what I would do is I'd wake up earlier, before we go to church. The kids would be asleep. I'd wake up maybe at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Normally I'm up at 3:30, but I'd wake up at 6 o'clock, do an hour worth of like reading and implementation. And that way, if there was a day earlier in the week that I couldn't get something done, I was just making it up. So it doesn't have to be a specific, you got to do this 7 days a week. We're really going to show you how to organize your time and make this fit your current lifestyle.
Okay.
We're not
Yeah.
trying to add we're not trying to add anything additional to your plate. We're just trying to show you how to maximize it.
Right. Yeah, that I can definitely do that, especially even while I'm at work. I'm known for making use of my time while I'm at work. But when you say those phone calls that
Mhm,
are periodic,
mhm.
how long are those phone calls?
Yep, the coaching calls, like you'll have 2 coaching calls a month, so every 2 weeks, and those will be 30-minute one-on-one coaching calls. Okay.
Okay.
And then the group support calls, you got to do one, you want to hit at least one per week, and those are usually like about 60 minutes.
Okay. And that's once a week.
Yeah, like if you want to be, in order for you to hit that 3 times your investment guarantee, you got to hit at least one support call each week, which is you're going to want to do anyways. If you're investing, a significant amount of money and time, you want to make sure you're maximizing every opportunity to its fullest. The
Right.
people that are killing it, that are like going above 10K or hitting 10K at a very rapid rate, they have the 3 C's. They're coachable, they're consistent, and they're committed. Right. So coachable, not going to be a problem for you. You're in the military, but again, coachable is someone that can just take feedback, not get butt hurt over it, and then make a pivot and make the changes that they need, in order to be successful. Committed, there's a difference between interested and committed. Committed means I'm going to do whatever it takes, even on the days I don't want to do it. Think about this. I always tell people there's 2 places I necessarily don't want to go, but I've never regretted going. So the church and the gym. There's days I don't want to go to either, but I get up and go, and I'm like, man, I've never regretted going. Right.
Right.
It's only got me better. It's got me closer to my goals. And then, consistency, doing things day in and day out, making it a non-negotiable. You got to take action based upon where you want you and your family to be, where that aligns with your overall vision. Okay. So again, consistency is going to be everything. If you can have those 3 C's, you'll be massively successful. Cool. All right, cool. From there, we're going to move into the roadmap. So this is cool. This can be a 2-phase part. We're going to show you what you need to get from 0 to 5K, and then what we need to do to get from 5 to 10. So you'd mentioned like, hey, how are you reaching these goals? What do I need to execute? And I can adjust it based upon my own lifestyle. This is where we show you exactly how you're getting from these points. Okay. From there, we're going to move into the mindset and lifestyle module. So this is going to be important. Based upon the lifestyle that you want to create for your family, we're going to put in daily practices and routines to match that. Okay. So we're going to be talking a lot about action, but we're going to be putting in processes in place. So again, just different, how to really live the type of lifestyle that you want, and how what resources we can provide you to implement that on a day-to-day basis. Okay. From there, we're also going to show you the top 10 struggles you'll face as a fitness entrepreneur, but we've also provided solutions to that as well. Now, this is where things get interesting. Administration systems and Chat GPT. Have you heard of Chat GPT?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay, so this is a game changer. I want you to think of Chat GPT as like Google on steroids. It's like your own virtual assistant. It allows you to set up SOPs. It helps you complete resources, workout programs, nutrition programs in a fraction of the time. Okay, so we'll show you how to implement that. And then we're also going to show you how to set up all your backend administration systems. So like Waiver, Stripe to collect payments, DocuSign for client agreements, Typeform and Calendly to book calls and for people to apply for you. And then also we have applications you can utilize to load up all of your programming, all of your nutrition into one space for your clients to make it more organized and more efficient. And then we're going to do the same thing for your financial systems. We're going to help you set up your LLC, get your employment identification number, when to open up a business bank account, when to pay quarterly taxes, when to pay yourself, examples of business write-offs, health insurance, business liability insurance, you name it, we deep dive into it, even how to pay taxes. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this is, as you know, once you try to file for your LLC, it used to take like 2 to 3 weeks. We're partnered with with an AI company called Taylor Brands. This takes 2 to 3 hours. It's essentially the same cost, but like literally a fraction of the time. And this has all been partnered with a lawyer, so everything is completely legal.
So I would say just on that LLC one, if you have one already, do you show us how to use the one that you already have, or do we have to have it?
Nope. If you already have it, that's great. We'll show you how to implement that.
And it doesn't matter what the LLC is for, like if it has a specific, mine says label, I think.
Yeah. So for instance, when I signed up, my wife and I had a meal prep business. It's called Lean Meals. So we use that, but we said Lean Meals doing business as Lion's Den. So there's ways that you can already utilize what you already have, but then you can do business as whatever you want to call this.
Oh, okay. Doing business as.
Yep. So if you already have that, we don't want you to have to go through that again. You know what I mean? I'm going to save you some money.
Yes, sir.
All right. Target setting. We're going to create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. We're going to deep dive into your very specific goals. And then from there, we're going to identify your ideal challenge. So this is where I was talking about what problem does your program solve for individuals? Based upon that, we'll create our offer and pricing. So this is huge, man. Really understanding your worth. You touched on this earlier, right? Like you're not getting paid your worth. A lot of trainers will like lowball themselves to get people in the door. You don't want to do that. I want you to think of, for instance, when you work out, what's your go-to brand that you wear when you work out? Like for me, I wear Nike. I like Nike. Right? What do you wear? Just give me an example.
Hanes, regular t-shirt.
Okay, so Hanes, what do you wear when you go out? What type of brand is your favorite brand? Let me ask you that.
I would say I'm a big fan of Polo, Ralph Lauren.
Okay, so Polo, what makes Polo so valuable to you? What does it represent for you when you put it on? How does it make you feel?
It's just a luxurious feeling. It makes me feel like, it's you're well upkept.
Beautiful. That's my whole point. So you wear something that gives you another level of confidence. When you put it on, you feel untouchable. You feel like you're kind of like a grown man. You're not, it hugs in all the right spots, right? So for women will wear Lululemon pants that are $150 for a pair of stretch pants. Why do they do it? Right. Because it feels really good on them and they make them confident, right? So I want you to think of yourself as a top level brand, because people, when you lowball yourselves, people don't see you as high level quality, right? So they'll always want to be negotiating with you. Oddly enough, when your prices are high and you have the value to back it, people want to be a part of something that's a little bit rare to find, right? Anyone can get a trainer for $50 a session, or someone that's going to be charging $200 a month, right? There's no level of significance behind that. You want to be able to set yourself apart. So you got to really understand the value that you're bringing, right? Think about this: Lamborghini, Ferrari. There's no commercials on TV for them. People know where to
Right.
get it. They don't need to advertise because they know a specific market will always come to them. So
Right.
I want you to think of that within your own business. Okay. So what separates me from somebody else? Am I offering macros? Yep. Am I offering weekly programs? Yep. I'm doing all the same basics, but what makes me different, my level of creativity for programming is vastly different. All of my even basic programs are advanced level. And the other thing that makes me different is I have alterations based upon how you're feeling from week to week. So if you were my client, you're like, hey man, I don't know, this week my knees aren't feeling it, my lower back's on fire. I know on my program it says this. I have like 18 different variations you can select from, right? So again, I'm listening to your pain points, but I'm making it more specialized specifically to your needs from week to week. I'm also doing Zoom calls, which a lot of people do, but I'm also doing Loom recording. So you might send in a recording of you doing a workout. Instead of me just sending you a text message back, I send out a Loom recording video. So you almost feel like you're in the same room with me. And I can be like, hey, this is what I really liked about this. This is what I want you to change. Send me another video. So instead of like having to read a text over and over, you can click the button and you can hear me talking. So it's more personalized, right?
Right.
So I'll do 2 check-ins a week, which a lot of companies do, but I'm a lot more hands-on. So I want you to think of it like this, man. You're getting paid to do something that you love to do, that you do for free anyways with yourself, right? Think about this. Like it baffles my mind when I watch professional sports. People are getting paid millions to do what they've been doing since they were a kid. Like how awesome is that, right? Like how do you come into an off season out of shape? I don't get it. All you have to do is work out and eat. Like that's it, man. Like, so think about this. You're getting paid to change people's lives. So for me, when I'm using the restroom, I'll take a 1 to 2 minutes while I'm taking a shit and text and say, hey man, how's things been going? How you feeling? I'll go above and beyond what's expected of me, because guess what? People will refer more people when they're like, oh man, he reached out to me. It's not even my day for check-ins. Like he's actually cares about my progress. And then as you do that, you create more of an offer. So this will also be dependent upon, is your program going to be more a do it for you, do it with you, or do it yourself program? The more that you do for individuals, the higher the ticket offer. That high ticket offer is going to be established upon your length of terms. So we help create your structure of your pricing. We teach you how to create downsells and discounts when applicable as well. From there, we're going to move into organic marketing. Okay. So what is this? We're going to show you how to do 1 hour's worth of work and get 14 pieces of content created out of that. Right. So making your time a
14 hours
lot.
or 40?
1 hour of work for
Oh,
content and get 14 pieces of content out of that 1 hour that you put in.
okay. Yeah, that's amazing.
So maximizing your time, learning to use applications that will break up your hour to where it's just shooting out, splicing up different pieces of content you can utilize on different days. Okay. We're also going to teach you how to do podcasts and YouTube, because we want people to understand who you are, what you're about. We want to expand your reach. We want to get people to like really be bought into what you're all about. Okay. Then we're going to show you how to market for all things Instagram related. So it's more than just randomly posting. There's very specific strategies and resources that we put into place. So all things Instagram. We'll show you how to market for all things Facebook. And we'll even show you how to market for all things TikTok as well. Okay. So for me, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't use TikTok because, again, my ideal clientels are 35 to 50. If you're a 35 to 50-year-old man, high level ticket guy, you're probably not hanging out on TikTok. I sure as hell hope not.
Right.
Right. So that's
Right.
for a younger crowd. So I kind of stick with Facebook and Instagram myself, but we teach you how to utilize all 3 platforms. And then have you ever heard of Canva?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to show you Canva Basic, Canva Pro, and Microsoft Designer to really add that page aesthetics. We want your social media like a storefront. So think when you and your girl are out shopping, she sees something on that store that makes her want to go inside based upon what was in that window. We want that same feel for you on your social media. So if someone's scrolling through Instagram, they see your page, I got to see what this guy's about. This looks interesting, right? We want to lure them in. We want, more organized, more professional looking content. And it's really good for branding and logo designs as well. From there, we're going to move into the 10K lead generation framework. We believe there's 3 different ways to do this. Okay. The first is what we call earned media. I want you to think of earned media as people coming to you or inbound marketing. Okay. The first thing we want to do is we're going to teach you how to set up a WhatsApp group chat. Now, we're going to show you why it's important, who we're going to be targeting. Okay. So usually what we'll do is we'll run some type of challenge or a scholarship. And out of those 3 platforms that we posted on, we're going to get a ton of people coming into you, and we're going to we're going to kind of get them to go into that what's that root strategy. So there's a ton of people asking questions. They're hopefully they're already in there with some people that you already trained, so that it feels like they can ask questions to people who are already in part of your program. Okay, so we'll show you how to set that up. And then the second part of this is we're going to show you specific strategies to bring more people to you. So cross-pollination, example of this, say for instance, you and a coach are partnering. So your audience gets to see them and their audience gets to see you. So we're adding in more followers, more viewers, we're expanding your reach. We've got poll strategy, free resources. The scholarship strategy is an amazing way to get people in. All right. And then we'll even do what we call call to action as well, strategies. So again, getting more people to come specifically to you. Now, the opposite of that is what we call conversation to calls or outbound marketing. You reaching out to individuals first. So now that we have that WhatsApp strategy set up, who are we targeting? How are we going to communicate with them? And how can we make this more of an intimate moment where it's like more like a one-on-one conversation? So by the time they get to the sales call, they feel very comfortable with you. They feel like they can trust you now, okay? Then we'll give you specific scripts. We're gonna give you conversation and call examples, but more importantly, we're gonna show you where to find all these leads on all 3 platforms and how to build and nurture these relationships.
I got one question for you.
Yes, sir.
I guess another big thing that I think about is, say I'm starting off with the 25 or 50, and I got the 50, and then essentially, do those people, I know you say that the goal is for those people to stay, but if they leave, how do you, have you dealt with that, with people leaving and then you happen to get new people in and just kind of starting them up, and then you have to put them on a whole fresh program, but you had like 10 people that showed up at one time, 20 people showed up at one time. And then like with the recommendations and stuff like that, like, hey, I'm leaving, but I'm definitely sending over my girl, or I'm definitely sending over my man over here. And then you bring them in. So how does that work? Do we go into that a little at all?
Yeah, so are you talking about when they actually sign up for your program?
Right, like with newbies and then people leaving.
Yep, so for instance, these strategies that I'm showing you right now are gonna get people in the door, getting them on a sales call to become a client, okay? Then once which we'll go over here in a second, but then once we get them, we're going to get a length of term set up. So we're going to have client agreements. So that way they just can't come and go as they please.
Okay.
There's going to be a contract associated with that, right?
Okay.
So as an example, a lot of trainers run their things differently. Some will do month to month, some will do 3, 6, 9, 12. I don't do any of that. I do 4, 8, and 12 contracts. 4 months, 8 months, or 12 months. That's what they get. I want you to think of this. I'm gonna give you an example of 2 major companies, okay? McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. Now, McDonald's has been around much longer than Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A revenue-wise is crushing McDonald's. You wanna know why? They offer they offer like 3 or 4 things, and that's where they stop at. McDonald's, you got the dollar menu, you got 100 different options. People get overwhelmed with looking at that shit, right? There's just too many options. So if you cut it down to just simplify it, I'm going to give you a quote. This will probably stick with you. This is what I learned back when I was a trainer. They call it KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Right? So the simpler you keep it, you're not giving people so many options, but you're really a master at what you are offering. Okay. So for me, when I did 4, 8, 12, I try to get them to do a paid in full. If they can't afford that, then what my 4-month program is equivalent to is $450 per month. My 8-month program is equivalent to $375 a month. And my 12-month program is equivalent to $350. Okay. So people see the numbers going down and they get enticed by that, right? So right now, out of those numbers I gave you, where do you think 90% of people are signing up for in my program?
The low one, the 12 month?
Yeah, 90, I would say 90%, probably 75% are like at the 8-month, and then the rest is, then I have a couple trickling in at 12 and maybe 1 or 2 at 4, okay? Now, the beautiful thing about this is when you have 4, 8, and 12, I have consistent data. So I know they're locked in for that rate. Now,
Right.
Why did I choose those specific months? Okay. So for me, I'm only going to speak for myself. Okay. Some people will do like a three-month program. I don't do that because once 3 months hits, it's usually someone getting ready for a vacation. They want to bounce out after that. Right. I'm actually trying to teach people sustainable lifestyle habits. So at 4 months, they actually have developed some habits. Right. At 8 months, they developed a whole damn transformation. Their body looks amazing at 8 months. At 12 months, I developed a whole lifestyle change for them. And more importantly, At 4, 8, or 12, I've established a trust and a relationship with them. So think about that. When you feel like you trust someone, you feel like you have an intimate relationship. So dude, if me and you were to talk every single day for 8 months, I'm giving you workouts, we're shooting the shit, we're having fun. By the end of 8 or 12 months, you're probably not thinking about canceling with me because you view me as a friend or someone that you can trust. It's hard to turn down a friend, right? Now, I don't ask them, let's pretend that you're on my 8-month program. Okay. Let's pretend there's like one more month left in your program. I don't bring that up to you. I say, hey, my man, check this out. I got some dope data for you. Okay. Over the course of time, your goals were A, B, C, and D. This is what we've done so far. Here's some pictures. This is phenomenal. And guess what? I'm going to introduce you to what I've already got planned for next month. See what I did there? I didn't ask you if you want to continue. I assumed it. I showed you that I've already developed time in you and I've already created another program to like lead you in. So I got you excited. I'm giving you insight on what my game plans for you moving forward. So, hey, I know our goal was this. I know that you said that you wanted to push the envelope a little bit more. So this is what I've devised. Are we excited about this? And you're like, fuck yeah, let's go, Jeremy. Perfect. And hey, since you've been so loyal to me, I actually want to do something special for you, man. I'm going to give you like 1 month of coaching for free. You can either do that, you can do that toward the end. Is that cool? They're going to always say yes. Or I might say, hey, man, you know what? Dude, because you've been with me for so long, I really appreciate you, not only as a client, but as a friend. I'm going to give you 10% off. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go brag to all their friends. Dude, this dude already created a whole program for me. I'm not even done with this first one yet. He gave me a discount because I stayed with him. So now they're referring the same type of individuals that they are. I don't ever say, do you want to sign up again? I'll never say that. Hey, this is what I got planned next. See what I did there? So I always have consistent data. The trainers that do month to month, or they offer a workout program only or nutrition only, and they have all these different drop-down features, guess what happens? They don't get consistent data because they're only keeping people for short periods of time. The only time I offer, me specifically, everyone's different, okay? But my business structure, the only time I offer free stuff, I might offer a free resource. Like one time I did like, hey, I'm gonna do a week challenge. Right now, 75 hard's like the popular thing. Everyone's doing that, right? So now 75 hard is ideal for certain individuals, but the majority of people that I know that do it aren't even doing it the right way, right? Like they're not doing 2 workouts. They're not doing any of that stuff. So what I'll say is, hey, I think 75 hard is great for extremists, but for the average individual, it's awful. It's setting them up for failure. So, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to do 7 days of consistency. I'll give them a free workout. I'll give them basic nutritional guideline knowledge, and I'll give them a week to where they're literally checking in with me 3 times a week out of 5. So that what that does is it buys them, oh man, I like this guy. I got a free workout from him. He's not in my inbox about making money. At the end of it, I'll have a meeting with them and say, hey man, what did you feel like? How did you like it? How do you feel about this? Like, where's your goals at now? Then I'll be able to like decide who's actually serious, get them on a game planning call and be like, all right, man, let's do this, right? Let's lock in. So I might do, if someone can't afford my workouts, I might say, hey man, you know what? I totally get this. Right now, your nutrition is probably the most important factor. I'd rather you dial that in first, and then we can always come back. So I might do, I don't even mention it, but I will have a nutrition only program for them, but I don't mention that. It's like the very last case scenario. I don't present it to them because if you present them a whole bunch of different options, they're always going to go for the less amount. I only offer 3 options. This is what it is. How serious are we? How long have you been in this state? Like you've mentioned now, you've been yo-yo dieting for the last 5 years. How do you think this is going to be any different? Right? My goal is to make sure this person feels like this is the last coaching program they'll ever need. If you can make someone feel like that, they will pay any amount of money. Think if you've ever been an athlete or if you've ever had an injury and it was devastating, it took long term to get you back. You're probably thinking, dude, if I can fix this knee or the shoulder faster, I'd pay anything, right? You want to give them that sense of feeling, okay? So I drug that out a little bit too long, but I want to give you some content behind that. All right, from there, referral strategy. So friends, families, coworkers talking about how amazing you are. We're going to give you strategies and resources to get people to want to bring you more referrals that you actually having to ask them. And again, it's all going to be about how you're servicing individuals. Now, the last phase is going to be all about that fine tuning. So sales overview. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be great at sales. We're going to teach you skills and provide you resources to maximize your sales capabilities. Because then we're going to set up 2 types of phone calls. The meet and greet is kind of like a filter. Right? You're trying to figure out who's really serious. Can I actually help this person? Can I solve their problem? And do I really want to work with them? Okay. So we'll give you show rate protocols and real-time examples with our coaches. And then from there, we're going to set up the closing call. This is where you're trying to lock down that lead. You're trying to get them to become a client. So we'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you our entire objection handling web. We'll teach you how to create downsells and discounts. This will be a game changer, creating financing options for people who normally couldn't afford your program. And then again, how to lock down that lead once and for all. Now, once you lock down that, yep.
For those calls, are they group or are they individual?
So your those are going to be individual calls. So you'll have an option between a 1-call close or a 2-call close. Everyone's different. Okay. So for instance, a 2-call closes mean the first call might be like a 10 to 15 minute phone call to really kind of figure out the baseline of what they're about and their goals, to figure out if you can really help them. Right. Because you'll get in the inbox, the first thing they're going to say is, well, how much do you cost? This is what you say. Hey, totally get that the price is an option, right? Like that price is a big deal, but I can't really give you a quote because I don't even know if I can even help you. I haven't even had a chance to figure out like what your goals are, what your concerns are, where you're at, if you have any type of deficiencies. These are all things I'd be covering on the first call. So I would let people know, hey, my prices aren't a one size fits all. It's going to be really based upon that individual's needs. And that individual's needs is going to be based. So say, for instance, if you have been suffering from sarcoplasma, so for a long period of time, and you're insulin resistant, it's going to take a whole hell of a lot longer for me to build up your metabolism, build muscle, right? So a 4-month program is not going to be ideal for you, right? So I can't quote something like that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And then the closing call, again, just trying to close down that lead. So the objection handling web, this is where people are going to give you a million different excuses. So we give you over 20 scenarios you're going to hear. I'm sure as you're reading this, you're like, shit, I've said that a couple times to people too. So like, these are, the more you can familiarize yourself with these modules, the more prepared you are for the sales call. So you can really show them why this is so important for them to move forward. Okay, so we have answers and solutions behind all these excuses that you're reading right now, which is a game changer. No other company is doing that. Now, you had mentioned earlier, you talked to different coaching companies. They're usually good at like one thing. So say, for instance, they're good at like, ads. That's great that they're great at ads, but you can't get to ads until you're good at sales. So you have to have the foundations behind it. So we're not just good at 1 or 2 things. We're really trying to show you how we're good at like all of it and bring it all together, if that makes sense. Okay. Client onboarding process, probably one of the most overlooked areas by trainers. This is the first 30 days in your program. This will make or break if people want to continue with you. So we want to make sure there's no buyer's remorse. We want to make sure this is a special moment. We want to make sure that they're getting like a resource in their hands within that first 24 to 48 hours. Okay. From there, we've got client delivery, the week-to-week process, and how you deliver services. So how can we make this more efficient? We're going to utilize ChatGPT to help create resources, workouts, nutritional guidelines. This will happen to you no matter how good you are. People are going to ghost you. They're going to quit. They're not going to listen. How can we overcome that? A lot of times they want more community involvement. They want more touch points with you. Some of them want challenges. Some of them want more resources or be, incentivized to do what's already expected of them. So we give you resources and strategies behind that. And then from there, we move into our customer support, not so fun side of things. What happens if someone cancels? They want a refund. They want to pause. How do we handle that? How do we mitigate it for the upcoming months? And how do we track it? And then client retention. We want to keep people for long periods of time and advance them to higher levels of our programming. So we give you resources and strategies behind that as well. And then the next steps, okay, cool, you're hitting 10K a month. I know that your goal is to get to 15 to 20K. So we need to talk about who we need to hire on to make that happen for you. How do we lead leaders? How can we slowly start walking away from the day-to-day activities? Quick recap.
People get paid.
What'd you say?
Those people get paid out of your 20K?
What do you mean? Oh, when you hire somebody on? You talking about when you hire somebody on?
Right.
Yeah, so like when you get to that point, dude, like that's a fraction of what you're paying to get back. So it's like, for instance, dude, let me just really quick, at the end of this, I'll actually even show you some client averages for Master Coach. But dude, you're making so much more when you're running ads. Running ads alone helps you become more internationally known. Like that just opens up a whole nother floodgate of people. But we can't run ads until we all have the foundational systems created, right? We'll also talk to you about hiring a DMer, so someone can actually do the inboxing for you, DMing for you. So we have different strategies at different times based upon certain price points that you're making. So by you hiring them, yes, it will come out of you, but you're also going to be doubling down the money you're making because now you have people doing it at a much more rapid rate so you can focus on other areas of your business. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, the program itself is 4 months long. You have your customized game planning call. You'll have your private one-on-one coach. You'll have one-on-one coaching calls every 2 weeks. You'll have a sales coach. You'll have the Facebook community CEO trainings, 5 times a week of group support calls, 24/5 tech support, and the business course curriculum. Is there anything you feel like we're missing?
No, sir.
Cool. And I know that you mentioned you have to watch quite a few testimonials. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, it was a couple. I watched a few testimonies.
I'm just going to share 2 of them with you because they're different opposites ends of the spectrum. So you got Charlotte. She's what you'd call a 10 percenter. Okay. So Chad talked about that earlier. She's a 10 percenter. She was a trainer making 40K a year. She got into our program. After 6 months, she contracted over 200K. She's now making 70K a month. So she's a rock star. That's Charlotte. Okay. She went all in. She was working crazy amount of hours. Like she was desperate to get out of what she was doing. Now, the opposite of the spectrum, we have Karina. She was making about 2K a month. Her goal was she just wanted to travel, spend time with her kiddos. Okay, that's all. First tattoo indicates when she started NLCA. Bottom tattoo indicates when she quit her job. After 6 months, she was averaging 10 to 12K on a regular basis. She's now hitting 15K a month. She works 35 hours a week, living her best life, traveling, chilling. Okay. Client averages. Mentioned this one earlier. So 73% of our students sign their client month 1. On average, it takes them 1 week. And of the students who quits their full-time job, it takes them just 10.6 weeks to do so. That's crazy. Just over 2.5 months. Of the students who hit 10K a month, it takes them 13 weeks on average to do so. And the students who stay with us 12 months have 97 clients on their roster on average. Now, the individuals that have 97 clients, they're averaging $366,000 a year.
Dang.
Yeah, so it's a lot of traveling. You know what I mean? So, from there, our students are grading their program a 4.5 out of 5 on average. I mean, they're getting massive results. Any questions on that?
Just to kind of go back to what you said. I know you talked about like the advertising and the business, and you got to know sales and stuff like that. You'll make business cards and stuff like that, or how do you? I know I'm kind of jumping the gun right now, but like all of the props and stuff that you use and the social media and how to get that. I'm like, do you get free Canva account, stuff like that with this course?
So the applications that you utilize is not going to come through the course. We're showing you how to utilize it. So, for instance, DocuSign. I think if you're talking about outside cost from outside of the program itself, you're looking at maybe a total of maybe $50 to $100 outside of the cost of the course. Okay. Which, if you think about in the grand scheme of things, is very minimal when you're going to 3 times whatever you're putting into it.
Right. When you say that, it's like monthly, because I know like Canva is like a monthly subscription. Cards, like if you're making business cards and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, so for instance, like not every trainer does business cards, especially if you're going to just be only online. But for me, I think outside the box, my man. So anytime I go to the grocery store, anytime there's going to be a human being in front of me, I feel like that's an opportunity for me to be able to pitch myself. So I'm sure you probably heard the elevator pitch stuff before. People talk about that. I can't tell you literally every day when I'm at the gym, and these are people that see me. Hey, what do you do? What do you eat? If I go to the grocery store and they see what's in my basket, man, I wish I could eat like that. Like you'll run into people that make underhanded comments about themselves. I'm like, well, shoot, man, let's talk about it. Here's my card. When I was in Costa Rica, guess what? My wife killed me, but I had business cards on me because I knew that was going to happen, right? So business cards are cheap as shit to make. You don't have to have that. They don't talk to you about business cards. I don't think they talk to you about business cards in this because I just created that because if you're not only relying on outreach on social media, like for instance, my wife is in the healthcare industry. Guess who some of the most unhealthiest people are? Healthcare workers. So I'll go do free seminars or free speeches at her job. And I already have a plug because they like her. She's a good looking woman. So I just go in there. They have to listen. They listen to me. I talk to their CEOs about how I can actually maximize, their employees' work so they're not sick as much. They're more healthier. I get like 15 referrals off that. Another example that I do is I'm partnered with a local supplement company here. I have all of my clients on specific supplementation. That supplement company gives me discounts and they give me about 30 referrals a month because they see I'm supporting their business. So anyone that walks into a supplement store is probably health conscious to some degree. They have some type of goals. So by the time I get on a sales call with them, it's a very warm lead because I'm already known in my local community. So I maximize social media, but I do heavy outreach locally because I'm really well known out here. So think outside the box, what I'm saying. So yes, I do biz cards. If you're asking me, I think I do things completely different than most trainers, but I've been in the game forever. So for me, one-on-one interaction, that's like taking candy from a baby, man. For me, that's easy. Right? It just makes a more of a professional look. So they'll show you how to do like web pages, all that stuff when you decide when you want to get there. Cool?
Cool.
All right. Now I know we mentioned the 3 times your investment guarantee. So the next thing we're going to talk about is what's this thing going to cost us, the investment, right? So there's going to be a payment plan. There's going to be a paid in full option. So the payment plan means we put down a down payment. We spread the rest out over 4 months. Paid in full just means we pay the whole thing up front. We save a significant amount of money. Now, no matter where you're at financially, if this is something that you feel like is going to get you and your family to the next level, that's the easiest thing for me to work around. We have extended payment plans. We have financing options. If this is something that you really value, I can easily find something that'll work for you in your price point. Cool?
Cool.
All right. So before we dive in, I kind of want you to give me a reminder of what you feel like online training is going to give for you and your family.
Definitely financial stability, freedom, and just enjoyment. Me personally enjoying what I do with ease, and then enjoying my family and my life.
I love that. So at this point in life, are you willing to accept anything less than that?
At this point in life, I still have the military that's weighing on me. So um, the goal is, if we're 2 years forward from now, then that's definitely, what I'm about. But right now, just the military just being so heavy, it slows everything down so much, because I don't even do what I'm, wanting to do in the military. So that it slows it down. So
Totally get that. And that's a very valid concern. I actually helped a guy that was in the Navy. And the cool thing about this was very similar, like whatever branch of the military, there's a lot going on, right? But the cool thing about this is he was able to start creating a second form of income off this. He went a little bit slower, but by the end of the time, like by the end of 3 or 4 months, he had nice stability coming in through his clients, right? Now, he didn't go balls to the wall, but he was averaging about 8K a month. And that was really good for him. That's 8K on top of his military salary, right?
Yeah.
So like he was feeling comfortable. So just imagine where he'll be at in another 6 months, right? So for him, it's very doable. You just have to, is there gonna be a level of inconvenience? Yeah. Is it gonna be hard? Yeah. Is it gonna be time consuming at times? Yeah. But is it going to be worth it? Absolutely. To be able to have that freedom and already know ahead of time, you've already started structuring a game plan to get you out from like 2 years from now. You don't need to wonder what you're going to do next. A lot of people in the military, after they retire or they leave the military, they're not sure where they're going to move next to, right? They don't know what's the next move. This you've already took an action. So you got to kind of figure out what type of leader are you going to be? There's going to be people that take action based upon where they see themselves and their family, and they take the action based upon that move, or there's going to be some people that won't take any action based upon their current circumstance. And those are the ones that get in that perpetual cycle of procrastination. So how important is this to you to get you and your family? If you're not going to do it for yourself, you should at least do it for that little girl, right? Cool. Let's talk about it. What's this going to cost us? Only $100,000 in your left kidney. I'm just kidding, man. There's a payment plan of $7,000. There's a paid in full option of $6,200. Out of those two, which do you think works best for you?
I would say definitely the payment plan.
Yep, 90% of individuals do the payment plan. So we're going to work this in reverse. Okay, I'm going to show you like what the average student does and work backwards. Okay, so average student will put down around 2,300, and the reason we came up with that number and the reason they're doing that is because the recurring payments aren't that much after that. So you put down 2,300. After that 7,000, that gives you a remaining amount of 4,700. You divide that 4,700 over 4 months. It's equivalent to just over 1,100 per month, which is you needing 3 to 5 clients. That's pretty much it, right? Do you feel like that's something that's manageable for you?
Right now, I'll be completely honest, not at all. Like I don't even have that in my savings account.
Yeah, don't even worry about that, man. Again, I have a million different options for you. I'm just kind of working it in reverse. Now, before we move forward, let me ask you this. You got to see everything. We asked a lot of questions. You had awesome questions, by the way. After seeing everything, do you feel like this meets all your needs on what you're looking for from a mentorship?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely, I want to be speaking with the mentors and stuff more. But like as far as just, hey, this is what we offer, this is what it is, and this is how you do it. No, it definitely was good.
Cool. Now, are you 100% confident in your own skill set and abilities to follow through and execute with the support and education that we're providing?
I am definitely.
Cool. So it seems like the only thing that could be holding us back right now is just the financial piece. So if we find something that makes sense for you and your family, is this something that you'd want to commit to?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. Let's talk about it. All right. So have a couple different options. We have probably three different options. One for sure I know will work. We'll talk about that one last. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. How good's our credit? Good, bad, great, awesome, shitty? What is it looking like?
I think it's at the good, fair. I mean, fair or good. It's at the good right now. It's not in the sevens, but it should be there in like another couple months.
Okay, cool. So there's one called Fund My Contract, and it's worth a go. Okay. So what I'm asking us to do is try to figure out what cards we have to play with. Whatever ones we don't have, it's just process of elimination. Again, there's something for you. I just want to see our best case scenario. It's called Fund My Contract. And what's awesome about this is it allows us to take that 7,000 and we split it up over 6 to 12 months versus 4. Okay. So they'll give you, if you get approved, it'll allow those 7,000 to be broken down into very small payments. Okay. So actually they even broken down over longer than 6 or 12 months. So they have what they call 6 or 12 months, same as cash. Let's pretend that you got a 12-month same as cash offer. As long as you pay that back before the 12 months, there's zero interest, same as cash, right? So like for instance, one guy got approved for like, I think it was like an 84-month loan, which is like 7 years. His monthly payment was 150 a month, 155, right? Now the cool thing about this is we can pay this thing off as early as possible with no penalties. So obviously if you're killing it, the program's 4 months, you're 3 times your investment guarantee. So right now you put in $7,000, we're telling you you're gonna get 21,000 back. It's a no-brainer, right? So his monthly payment was like 150, 155. And the cool thing about this is your first payment's not even due for 30 days. There is no down payment. So I want to see if we get approved for it. Okay. Because that'll lead me into what our next best option would be. You cool with that?
That one. Let me check my credit real quick.
Yeah.
So that one is, of course, a hard pull to get approved for this thing.
No, that won't affect your credit at all to get to find out if you get approved.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So right now it's like a 670.
Okay, so you could be in a good spot. I think this would be worth us finding out if you get approved. Again, just to see what you get approved for doesn't affect your credit. Stop credit check. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna share my screen because I'm gonna be sending you over some stuff. It takes us about like 3 minutes to find out what we get approved for. All right, let's see what we got. Let me move this over here. Okay, cool. What's your email address?
DWAYNELEWIS 1380 at gmail.com.
Cool. Yeah. All right, check your email. Just gonna ask you some personal information. I won't be able to see what you're filling out, but it gives an idea of what we have to offer.
Okay.
guys got any big plans for Memorial Day weekend?
Oh no, sir. We just no.
Just relaxing. Okay.
Yes, sir. Uh I always get my annual gross confused. That's essentially how they say before taxes.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, what are you making a year essentially?
Uh
So, if you're making right around, let's just say we'll lowball it. You said 6 to 7K. Let's just say let's call it six. So 6 times 12, you're bringing in probably about 72,000 a year.
72,000.
Yeah, before
That's
taxes.
that's I'm making 6,000. That's with taxes and stuff being taken.
Oh, cool. Well, look at you, baller.
That's the both of us together.
Okay, so they're looking at what do you make by yourself?
Oh, okay, okay. Um, then yeah, I think that's like closer to like four, yeah, like 3,000 a month times
Okay.
12, 36.
Yeah, and then you want to say maybe I'd probably say 36 to 3,700 with your two side jobs as well. Yeah, we probably want to factor those in there. So probably say 36,000.
Okay. It says awaiting offers.
Cool.
It says, thank you for submitting your request for financing. Unfortunately, we are unable to match you with a financing offer at this time. You will receive an email or letter within the next 30 days with more detail.
No worries. So that just process of elimination. Now, the one that I know we will get approved for is called Sweet Pay. What this allows us to do is take that 7,000, spread it out over 12 months. Now, the cool thing about this is it's only 5% down. So 5% of 7,000 is 350 plus a one-time service activation fee of $59. That would bring it today just to get going 409. Your next payment wouldn't be until like June 30th, which is about 4.5-ish weeks. And your monthly payment would be equivalent to about $597, which is equivalent to you only needing about 2 clients per month to make that back. That's easy, right? Do you feel like that's something that's realistic for you?
I think so. Like I said, we got 2 car payments. Um, Really, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest expense. We got 2 car payments, but because military takes care of like the housing situation. But if we're looking to move here soon, then we have to look at getting a home, or if we want to just be simpler and get an apartment, that might be easier. Mm, so right now I have yeah, I'm trying to see because it should if it's just coming out of my money, I should be able to do that. You said it's how much to start today?
409.
409. Now the starting today is the problem that hits me, but just because uh, bills have just been paid and everything, but I'm supposed to get, we get paid every first and 15th. So
Mm-hmm.
um the next time I get paid is in a few days. And so if I did that, I get about $1,300 for my check because they take my rent out of my check. And
Okay.
so 1,300, and I have to pay this car insurance, which is about $100. Uh, I don't have to pay my car note until the 19th, which is gonna be with the next check. So I don't have to worry about that one. I don't worry about that. Yeah, I say essentially it should be doable. So if I pay the 409,
Mhm.
first question is, would that 409 be able to wait until I got paid?
So if you dropped it today, that in order for you to get course access today and be able to like book a game planning call and get all that information and kind of get going, the 409 would be due today. Now you could always wait till your next payday. The problem that I've seen this, and I'm going to tell you my own personal experience, I was very similar to the situation you were in. Um, your brain doesn't like you to do stuff that makes you uncomfortable, right? So your brain doesn't think about what's the best move for you down the road. It goes based off upon your previous habits, right? So after a phone call, your brain's gonna be like, shit, 7,000, fuck that. I got bills to pay, right? Like natural, right? Like 7,000 is a lot of money, right? So my point was, it took me 4 months before I even booked a second call to sign up. My wife actually made me do it because she knows like I'm old school. I was making a shit ton of money in first. So that like, I'll just go back to that. She's like, no, you're not. We need you to be here. So my wife actually made me book the call, and she actually sat in here to make sure I made the payment to follow through with it. So my point is, yes, you could wait, but if you can be just short-term inconvenienced, where it's only a matter of a couple of days to where your next check's coming in or whatever the case may be, or your wife is helping you out, I would say, do you feel like that would be worth actually taking action, holding yourself accountable? Because earlier we talked about we have the areas of where we procrastinate. So I think if you start today, we're able to get the 409 down, you're holding yourself accountable, you're taking action for your family. And do you feel like that's something that your wife would be opposed to if she knows can get you guys in a better financial spot long run?
Yes, only because of it's not more so about the holding myself accountable, because to me, when I look at money, 7,000 is not a lot of money if I'm paying it off. 7,000 is a
Yep.
lot of money if I'm getting it. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I view money. So like if I'm telling you like, yo, I could do it, but I have to wait like 4 days until I get money to actually pay it. Cause like right
Yep.
now, there's like probably $200 in my bank account right now. There's
Oh, and
probably,
checkings and savings combined?
huh?
And checkings and savings combined?
Oh, no, no, no. In my savings account, it's like I think it's probably like 500, 600. But
Okay.
I have to use that to get my taxes and title, everything for my
Yep.
truck. So yeah, I just made a purchase for that truck. Just put
Okay.
like 22,000, I mean $22,000 down and got the
Okay.
loan and everything. So that dropped my credit score and stuff like that. But
Yep.
so that, and then also, like I said, the money that is in my savings account, I can't touch it because I have to use it to get my taxes and title. And
Okay.
so essentially in there, we're trying to get ourselves on track. And so
Yeah.
that's where this stuff comes into play. And
Hmm.
so I'm the type of guy, like I know if I get my check and in 4 days, I will have the money. Now,
Yeah.
at that point, it's just like you said. This is essentially being that initial call, and then you say, "Okay, let me um, uh, call back or whatever." But for me, it's like if you're telling me that I pay 409 in in 4 days or today, and then next month it's what 500.
597.
597. But if I can get 2 clients by the end of next month, that's the goal is by the end of next month.
Yep. So I tell people too, like right now, you already got your certification. So for you, I'd expect you to be able to get a couple clients. People that don't have any certification, I'd say let's be realistic with our expectations. Is it possible? Yes. But is it like reasonable to think that? I'll tell people no. With you having multiple certifications and you already being in the military and you being around so many different people, I would expect you to be able to get a couple clients, but it's going to be based upon the amount of work ethic that you put into it. So if you're doing exactly as we had laid out, you're putting yourself out there, you're doing the introduction post, and they tell you exactly how to do it, and you're following up with people in person, yes, you should be able to get those people.
Right. Because then that's another big thing is so if I started it today, but then that you said it can't be no missed payments, right?
No, yeah. So for instance, like you put 409 down today, and then what we do is you'd set up like a card, whatever, like you want that to be pulled from. We'd set that. Well, actually, through SweetPay, that would be an agreement set over between you and SweetPay. So we could take 409 today. Then you get an email that says, "Hey, congratulations!" You'd e-sign it, and then basically say 597 will be due on the 30th of each month, essentially.
Right. Yeah. So then that's where it also will come to play is even with my hustle and bustle, and like you said, the people that reject it and then everything like that. Okay, cool, you rejected it, no problem. But I still gotta pay 500, So now that's the thing is where it's just like how probable are we with getting the client to where I don't have to pay that 500 next month?
Well, so you have monthly payments coming out. Essentially, what I'm saying is if you have two clients, let's just say minimum you're charging $300 a client. Okay. You get two clients at $600, right? So you've made it. So your monthly payment still comes out, but you're replenishing it with the money that's coming into your own bank account, if that makes sense, right?
Right. That
So,
makes sense.
so when you're asking how probable is that, earlier you said you're 100% convinced on your own skill set and abilities, right?
Right.
So if you have the drive and you put it in your headspace, like there is no plan A. What a lot of people do, man, especially with social media, it's so easy, is they'll see something bright and shiny and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then 2 weeks later, they'll see something else bright and shiny. And they're like, oh shit, what's this? I want to try this out too. So like a lot of people I'll see, like they'll say, oh, I want to get into personal training. I also want to get into real estate. I also want to do Airbnb. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, man, just choose one and be good at it, right?
Right.
Because the more you keep trying to put your hands into different things, less focus you can have on each area. Get good at one thing, build up a nice foundation with that. And then as you're building in money, then you can invest in Airbnbs or real estate if that's what you want to do, right? But then you can hire out people to like run those things for you while you're doing the one thing that you're really, really good at. So what I'd say to you is if you already are out here in the military, so for one, this could be a niche. You're working with people in the military. There are a lot of people in the military that aren't in good shape. This could be a great for you to be reach out to those individuals and be like, hey, I know for a fact, man, just by talking to you, looking at you, people probably asked you before, like, hey man, what do you do? Like, what's your nutrition? What's your regimen? Like, what does that look like? Hey, no problems, talk about it. Right. So you have that going for yourself. You have two side hustles where you see people on a regular basis that probably like you a lot and enjoy your company. I'd be reaching out to them. And then we're also going to be reaching out to friends, families, people that have been watching your social media for quite some time that have been like inboxing you. We want to engage with those people off the bat first. Those are going to be the warm leads. So how realistic is it? I guess how realistic is it that you're going to follow through every day? Follow
But I
through, you
think
can't fail.
my version of realistic is the people that I'm around, the people that view my social media a lot, the people that are in the military. First of all, the people that are in the military are very stubborn. They they don't they don't want to, especially if you're telling them, hey, I could get you right, but I want to know how concerned are you with getting right? How much are you willing to put in? Of course, it's going to cost. I'm not free. If
Yeah.
you want to look like this, if you want to feel like this, I can make that happen. But you have to be willing to invest the same way as I'm willing to invest in myself here. Right.
Mhm.
So if I say my version of realistic, is it probable? Is it realistic? It's more so I'm thinking about the people that I'm around. Like I said, the military, they're gonna be slim to the ones that will want to pay 300,
Mhm.
400 bucks a month to get in shape and to feel great and stuff like that, only because they feel like, oh, I can do it myself. Yeah, I'm in the
So that
military, I can do it myself. And then
so
you
that's
have the people that are on my social media, who a lot of them are, like you said, family members and friends that don't have a lot of money at all. So that's where it's kind of hard to see. I have to try to gauge that getting out and stuff. And that's why I say how fast, that's more so my question is how fast is that ball going to start rolling once I put 409 down?
so the ball starts rolling. Once you put the 409 down, let's pretend on a hypothetical you did that today. I get all your information. I'd send it over to an onboarding specialist within a couple of hours from our phone call. An onboarding specialist would reach out to you with course access, with you being able to book your game plan call with your coach. You'd just be able to start diving in. Like you'd skip over the certification aspect stuff. You'd go right into like the business stuff where it tells you lay out your posts, do this, do that. Like it goes in specific order. Okay. Now we're not just going to only rely on those individuals. Those are going to be the ones that we're trying to target. Hopefully that they will come on. But another way to get people that are like, man, I can do this on my own. This is what I would do. You're already doing side gigs for low money. What I would do just initially is I'd say, hey, cool, I like that. So maybe since you know everything, how about we hop in and work out because I'm open to learning from you. I've said that before in my training. I'm like, hey, since you know everything, hey, school me, please. Let me know because I'm all about trying to learn the next phases. So then you get them with you that you see every day, and then you break them off and you do an assessment that you know they can't possibly fucking do. Like you know it. Like you get them to the point where they're humbled. Then there's a light switch. It's like, oh shit, it's a lot worse than what I thought. So then when you're talking about, well, man, I would, let's just pretend 300 bucks. Okay. So, man, 300 bucks is a lot, man. I don't know about that. So this is how I'd sell it. This is how I used to do it in corporate. 300 bucks is a lot. Cool. Let's look at your finance, look at your budget. Okay. So 300 bucks a month, we divide 300 by 4 weeks in a month, right? That's equivalent to $75 a week. You divide that by 7 days a week. That's 1071 a day. You're paying more than that on Starbucks and McDonald's every day.
Right.
Think about the average American. Almost everybody I know is spending at least $6 to $8 a day on it, whether it's a Gatorade, a Frappuccino, something out to eat. 1071 is not shit in the long grand scheme of things. So when you break down numbers and you make that number seem less expensive, people are like, oh, I didn't think about that, right? So same thing, even if you're charging someone 400 bucks a pop, 400 divided by 4 is equivalent to $100 a week, divided by 7 days in the week, it's $14 a day. I can do that. So when I used to be in corporate, I'd say, hey, before I'd even talk to them about anything, hey, tell me a little about yourself. I'd ask them like, hey, what do we, just out of curiosity, what do we do for hobbies? So I find out how often do we go out to eat? They'll tell me. Okay, cool. Is this like more McDonald's? Is this a steakhouse? How often? I go out to eat 2 to 3 times a week. Cool. What do you think on average you spend? They have no idea what I'm building up for. I'm building up armory and a backup plan. So when they tell me they can't do this shit, you already gave me your budget, homie. We can, right? If we skip, instead of eating out 2 to 3 times, so I'll ask them, hey, what do you eat? How many gas station runs? Do you do Starbucks? So sometimes you gotta just say, like, do you do Starbucks? No, I don't spend anything. Oh, so you don't go to the gas station and get a Gatorade? Well, yeah, I get an energy drink. Okay, so that's about $3, right? So you're basically having them tell you what their budget is, and then say, okay, so it's like, do you smoke? And then so someone will say, like, what do you mean smoke? Like, hey, do you smoke cigarettes? Do you smoke marijuana? I'm not here to judge, but do you do that? Yes.
Right.
Okay, cool. So how much weed are you smoking? Is it like a dime bag, a nickel bag? What are we charging? Like, what are you getting charged? I smoke once a week, and it's probably spend $50 on marijuana a week. Cool. So then I add all that up, and I'm like, okay, so cool. You're spending essentially $1,000 additional dollars a month that that you're saying is you're tied on money. But could you imagine if I even had you just split half of your habits only in half, not telling you to quit all of them, but just reduce it, you'd have more than enough money to give you something back that's literally not up in smoke, but it actually gives you a residual back. Makes you feel better, less depressed, less anxiety, and then I'll say, hey, this is my number one line. I'm gonna give this one for free. This is my number one line I give to people. Hey, if you don't invest in your health and fitness today, you inevitably invest in your illness tomorrow. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to, do you want to spend $300 now a month and maybe for the next, 4 to 6 months get you in a right spot to where you've made some significant habit changes? Or do you want to spend $300 on a doctor's bill where you sat in a waiting room for about 2.5 hours and you were seen for 15 minutes? Like, what do you want to do, right?
Right.
So when you kind of walk them through that with that tonality, it's like a light bulb, like, oh shit, he's right. And then if they're saying, hey man, I know how to do it myself, cool. Well, how come you look the same for the last 2 years? I've known you for 2 years. Like, how come you haven't done it by yourself then? If you can, how come you haven't done it?
Right.
You're just asking them questions out of curiosity. You're not disrespecting them. You're like, cool, I get it, man. Most people feel like that. And then if they say they still know what they're doing, this is where you use your certifications for your advantage. Cool, man. So typically when you're working out, what is your average RIR when you're working out? They're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? Your rest and reserve, right? Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, cool. So, and then you just start asking little questions, and then they're like, oh fuck, I don't know anything. So that there you're establishing yourself as a professional. Oh, cool. So since you know since you've been working out, like, what's your average RIR? What type of planes of motion do you typically train in? Like, you just ask basic questions, but you kind of dummy it down, and they're like, what the fuck is all this abbreviations? What does that mean? This is the difference between being good and great, man.
Right.
So you got to use your education as a weapon, but in a respectful way. So for instance, man, when I was doing in-person training, I used to get a ton of sales because I would not go to most trainers will go after the most out of shape, flabby looking person. That's too easy. I go after, dude, if I was in the gym, I'd go after someone like you. You're in the military, you're a nice guy. I'm gonna come over there, smile, be like, hey, my man, what's up? Jakwon, what's up, man? My name is Jeremy. How long you been coming here? Blah, blah, blah. I make sure we feel like we're friends. I'm like, cool, man, what are you hitting today? I'm hitting chest. Dope, man. Hey, if you don't mind, can I show you a couple intensifiers that'll just like give you a massive pump? Fuck yeah, let's go. And now you trust me as a friend, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something to you that you've never had done before. So I know that people that don't work out are watching you who do work out. If I can break you off in front of them, in their mind, they'll be like, fuck, he got broke off. I definitely need this.
Right.
And even if you don't pay for me, you're going to go tell all your friends, like, dude, this guy over here, like, man, like this guy just broke me off in like literally 2 minutes. And I've been working out for an hour. So if I can educate you, guess what? All the gym people, like the gym rats are your biggest advertisers. They might not pay for you, but if you give them something they've never seen before or felt, they'll be like, one of their best, like, yo, you're working out with a trainer. Hey man, I thought it was kind of some bullshit too, but he broke me off in like 10 minutes. I'm still sore today.
Right.
So when I was doing assessments, I wasn't doing a stretch and reach. I wasn't doing all that dumb shit. I'd break someone off in 20 minutes, and I guarantee I could do it to anybody, no matter their level. So I'd say, hey man, athletically wise, from 1 to a 10, 1, you're no level of experience. 10, you're an elite level athlete. Where would you rate yourself? And then they tell me their numbers. So a lot of younger guys, like, man, I'm like a 7 or an 8. Oh, you're 7 or an 8? Wow, okay, cool. So do you mind if I, hook you up with a free workout? Man, I'm good. I'm giving you a free workout, bro. Like, let me just have 15 minutes of your time. Cool. I give them 15 minutes and I break their ass off and I have them thrown up in front of people. I'm like, hey man, what happened? I thought you were a level 8. This right here is like a 4, homie. And then I'll have them do it, but I'll show them that I can do it too. So I'm not going to ask you to do something that I can't do. So when I'm doing an assessment, I'll do some crazy shit, man. And I'll be like, here, I'll make it look really, hey, this is all you want you to do. I want you to hold here. I want you to, engage your core this way. I'll make it look really easy. And then they'll do it. They'll be shaking everywhere. Hey, next I want you to do this and this and this. And I'll give them an example in game speed. And then I'll ask them to do it. And I'll be like, hey man, I'm in work clothes, bro. And you're a level 8 athlete. Like we need to rethink this, right? Like based upon, that last 15 minutes, what did you learn? And maybe, what was an area you thought that you really did well at in this assessment? What's an area that just was like, you're completely shocked? And most of them will say, dude, I had no idea. I thought I was in a lot better shape. Cool, man. I wasn't here to embarrass you, but I did want to show you, like, expose your weaknesses and how we can actually turn this into a strength. So you can get a lot of people by utilizing your current clients. just like that. It's all about tonality. It's all about breaking down numbers that makes it seem manageable. $300 a month sounds like a lot to the average person, but you're like, dude, it's $10 a day. What do you spend in a day? I go to the coffee shop, I get a donut. There goes fucking $10. By 12.
Right. Let me see here. So of course the goal is to be able to do stuff like this without going into a household money, but just doing it with my money.
Yeah,
Control my own money. So let me see
100%.
here. 15. Yeah, when I'm really thinking about it, I myself don't have a lot of expenses. So like I think I can do it with the money that I make as a to start investing in myself. But yeah, it would have to start on the 30th or 31st whenever I get paid.
Cool.
Yeah. So essentially I would probably get paid on Tuesday.
Okay.
Um, but like this number that you're saying, the 409, it will still be 409 on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, man, I got you. Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
yeah, because most people be like, well, if you don't do it today, then you get.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, I get a lot of sales calls. So if I need it to be in alignment with you, man, I'm not gonna try to put you in a headlock to make you do anything. At the end of the day, it needs to make sense for you and your family. If I can get you at 90% of alignment with me, our coaches will get you over that 10% of doubt. So I just need to make sure that you're 100% committed to the process, that you feel like this is the ideal fit for you. And if it is, dude, I don't give a shit if it's today. Obviously, better today if we can get you going, but if we can't, it's still going to be there on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Also, how intense do you think it is gaining clients on social media? Because I might have a better chance at just pushing myself social media wise than I would here, just because. Well, I think just with learning the tips that you say that you showed me, just showing like when people say this, how to do that and stuff like that. But if I don't watch those just yet, but I'm trying to get it with it starting next week or starting today, because I'm hitting the gym today, probably like around 1-ish or 1:30. So I'll get some people and everything, but I do workouts on base, which is not a lot
Mhm.
of people, and it's the people that work out. They everyone yes they get in their own head, and so essentially social media is a way that you can really show them, that like you said that the excitement, the I forget the word you used. Dang, what's the word you use? Essentially, the excitement. They want to see something that's cool, is fun, and this guy's amazing. So how easy is it doing it on social media?
And see, that's the whole premise of this course. We teach you, like, that's the main point. I'm just sharing extra tips that'll get you money a little bit quicker, because I'm
Okay.
again, I always think outside the box. I always think no matter if I'm on social media or if I'm at a grocery store, everybody's an opportunity for me. That's just how I look at stuff. So I see everyone as a person, but I also see them as green. So anyone looking at me could be a dollar bill, man. And I'm trying to
Right,
pick that bad boy up. So
right.
like
How many
that's
people do you have?
huh?
How many online clients do you have?
If you're a one man or one woman show, the average would be anywhere between 30 to 55 ish. But after that, after you hit 50, it starts becoming overwhelming a little bit. So that's when, obviously, if you're making, if you have over 50, you're making well over 10K, which would then you get to that point where we need to start talking about bringing on like, someone like an assistant coach that works directly underneath you. You get paid a portion of their clients, but we show you like how to bring them on, how that payout structure would work. So that way you're delegating some of that. You're getting clients, but you're passing them on to certain individuals.
Right. No, I'm saying like, how many do you, Jeremy, have?
Oh yeah. So we're at between 12 to 15K a month on a regular basis. So my wife's in nursing. So we have that income, we have the coaching, and then I also do this. So I think client wise, I'm right now, let me see.
And it's all through an app.
Yeah, like Trainerize, or you can do Trainerize, or you can do like True Coach. I don't suggest utilizing any apps until you have a specific amount of clientele. Like
Okay.
I have a really well-known coach that has worked with me, and he still sends me Google Sheets. But the thing is, I don't give a fuck as long as I'm getting the results. I care less what he uses. But
Right.
when I'm getting to 20 to 25, for me, I'm a penny pincher, man. So I don't want to have to pay for anything unless it's actually going to be beneficial to me.
Right.
Why would I want to run an app if I only have 5 people? Right?
Right.
I want to run something where I'm going to get my money back. So once I hit about 20 to 25 clients, I'm like, this makes sense now for me to have everybody in one spot. Right. And then I can say, hey, man, really excited because due to people like you, my business has been able to expand. And with that being said, I'm upgrading my program. So no additional cost, but I'm adding everybody onto an app, which I'm going to give you access to. It allows me and you to interact on there. I can check in to see like when you're doing your workouts. I can streamline everything. It's a lot more efficient. And I almost pump it up like it's a new thing for them. And that's how I do it. So, yeah. So let's say, yeah, I'd say right now, given the month, I'm anywhere between, let's say, 30 to 40 clients.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to really scale. I don't want to have a whole team underneath me. I didn't want to.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just not been my thing. So money's alluring, man, but I wanted that lifestyle.
Right.
So let's book our call. How about this? Let's see, 31st is, man, I can't believe it's already the end of May. The 31st is Wednesday. Did you want to go Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday. I get paid a day before the first.
Okay.
But
So what time did you want to connect?
Wednesday, you said it is?
Yeah, 31st is on a Wednesday.
Wednesday, Wednesday I'm free. Yeah, I don't have nothing on Wednesday. It can be 4:30, because I get off at 4:30.
Okay, so 4:30 on a Wednesday.
4:30. Hopefully I get paid on the 30th. If I do, I'll send you a text message. But
Yeah, man, because after this phone call, what I'm going to do is I have one more call directly after you. Give me a minute to do that. Once I get out that phone call, I'm going to send you over some resources because I want you to go into the mindset that you've already started as a student today. Okay, so I want you to start like working on some things. So one of the things I'm going to first send you on is how to get started mini course. It's free, it's simple, kind of gives you an outline. Okay, so I want us to kind of start working on that. That'll kind of keep you accountable. It'll kind of get you accustomed to everything. And then I'll also send you over like, I'm going to send you over a couple testimonials as well.
Okay, thank you.
And then me and you, like, I'm not going to bother you, but I'll probably text you on Sunday, just check in to see how you and the family are doing. And if you have any questions, but I'm really big on staying in communication. Dude, I don't like it when people like, oh, you didn't buy from me today, so I won't talk to you until you're going to get paid. That's shysty, and I don't like that, and it makes people feel like shit. So I'd rather, we spent quite a bit of time together. I think you're an awesome dude. So I want to make sure that you still feel like you're being supported, because at the end of the day, man, like that's the biggest thing for me. I need to make sure this fits for you and your family. And I don't want you feeling like, oh shit, I didn't pay. So like now this dude's not going to talk to me until the end of the week. I'm really big on texting. I send a lot of voice memos. I send podcasts. If I feel like something like really hit home that we discussed and I run into something, I'll be, hey, give this a 5-minute listen. Cool with that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And you're Central Standard Time too as well, right? Because you're in Texas,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
Cool. I got us locked in for Thursday. So let me get on this next phone call. Then I'll send you over some free resources. Cool. And then
Yes,
just
sir.
text me with a like a thumbs up that you got them, so I know that you were able to receive them. Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremy.
You got it, my man. Have a great weekend.
You as well.
Later, man.